feel amazing. I feel like I'm me again, and it's really a good feeling.
And you'll come down there?
Yeah, of course.
At this point, what do we have to lose? Hello everyone, welcome. This is Recovery Now. The last show we had, we ended with an intervention that the audience helped us out with. And we met with Megan.
She thought she could do it herself. She didn't need to go to a recovery center.
Who is this loved one?
It's my daughter. This has been ongoing for 5, maybe 6 years.
What would you say to her right now?
I love her. And I want the world for her. And just please do what we need to do to help you.
Can you come down here?
It's nice to know that there's other people that feel exactly what you're going through. Now I've realized that I do need them and I need help. As young as I am, it's been an ongoing battle, and I'm ready to stop it.
We have a package here for you, and if you accept, then you can actually go in today. You know, there's no time like the present. What do we have to lose at this point? You know, what do you say? What do you think?
I'll take it.
Right on.
I'm ready to start my life.
I know she's going to be safe tonight.
So it's been about 40 days, but altogether you have about 60 days of sobriety, correct? For people who are out there struggling, they need to know that they can put together a couple weeks. I didn't think I could put together a couple weeks. I didn't think I could put it together a couple days. I couldn't even go grocery. Who could eat, you know, with crystal meth? But here we are after this period of time, and what I want to know is, you know, how your life has changed right now.
I feel amazing. I feel like I'm me again, and it's really a good feeling. It's a much better feeling to know that I have trust in my family and good friends to be in my life, and it's my life again. I have control over it, and it's a really good feeling.
That's awesome. And how old are you?
I'm 20.
If I can remember correctly, you were actively using for 5 years, or was it longer or shorter?
About 5.5 years.
5.5 years. Crystal meth, any other drugs?
Like weed and whatever was there, pretty much. But it was mostly meth. That was my choice, and that was all I tried to get my hands on. At first I was smoking it and eating it and snorting it, but it eventually got to me shooting up. And that was something I told myself I would never do. And I got to that point. And I was shooting up, and I would go to sleep afterwards. And that's not a good sign.
Thanks for coming up, Robert.
No problem.
So you have a loved one who is at that point, it sounds like. What's going on?
Basically, my wife, Sunny, had a period of sobriety, and she relapsed back in May. And since then, it's just been treatment center after sober living, after treatment center, after, you know, just almost reaching the point of complete, you know, seemingly complete hopelessness. We have a small child. We have a 2.5-year-old son. And prior to that, we were both working in treatment. You know, I still work in treatment. I've been clean 4 years. And it's just gotten to the point where, you know, she's no longer living at our apartment. I try my best to try and keep her sober, even knowing everything I know about the 12-step program and Al-Anon, and I still am caught in the insanity of just trying to just save her, knowing that she's up against a monster of a disease. You know, she's still in contact with the dealers and these guys who I've, you know, just hate. It's just a nightmare, you know. It's just been one of the hardest years of my sobriety.
So you're in recovery yourself?
I am clean 4 years.
4 years, and
Yeah.
and that's amazing. That's awesome. That's really cool. And her son, do you have the custody of your son?
We're married, and so it hasn't gotten to that point. Between the grandparents and myself and her when she's not doing badly, you know, she's a great mom when she's not detoxing or high. Mm-hmm. And those times are getting fewer and far between. You know, I've never understood powerlessness more than I do now, and I thought I had a very firm understanding of that, and you know, and I'm not playing the victim at all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying poor me, whatever. You know, I understand that this disease is just a cold piece of work.
I was shooting up and I would go to sleep afterwards, and that's not a good sign. So I took it as not being a great sign and knew that I really needed to change my ways and change my life.
It's amazing. I think a lot of us that were IV drug users said that at one point, that, oh, I'll never put a needle in my arm, or, you know, they didn't think they were actually a drug addict unless they had a needle in their arm, or
Yeah.
I'm not going to, you know, put that dirty drug in my arm, but I'll snort it and eat it, though. You know, I think that was a more fabulous way to do it or something.
Right.
But yeah, it goes down fast. And when you're 20 years old and you're addicted to the needle as well, I mean, that's all it takes is one mishap, and you're not really with it in your mind. All it takes is overshooting that mark one time, and you're a goner. You get the gift and you're willing to give it back, and that's what recovery is about. And it's like, if we're really participating in recovery, whatever support system it is, if it's 12 steps, whatever it might be, if you're participating in recovery, part of that is being able to share your experience, strength, and hope with other people. You pretty much seem to have a good grasp on what you wanted to do with your life. Has that changed in any way in the last 60 days?
I'm more eager to go back to school. I want to get my education, and I want to have unlimited amount of options. And so I'm like greatly looking forward to being able to do that and knowing that I'm going to stick through with it rather than enrolling and then dropping the classes.
No, that works.
I did that tons of times.
Yeah.
But I know what my goals are that I have set for myself, and I know that I'm going to go through with them. And I'm very, very positive about it.
And the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
Because I think we always knew that those goals that we would make when we were high or addicted to some drug, that it was just pie in the sky. You know, sometimes, you know, you shoot the first drug and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to change the world, and it's going to be amazing.
I'd make lists for myself. Okay, things to do. And then I'd find them later, and I'd be like, oh, never did it, never did it, never did it. But now I'm actually, it was funny because the other day I found a list that I had written, like, you know, a month ago, and I had done everything on the list.
Good deal.
And that was a really good feeling.
By choosing to be completely abstinent from drug and alcohol, do you feel that you're missing out on anything?
No, I feel like I'm gaining. I feel like I've gained a lot more. It's a really incredible feeling. There's nothing that I'm missing. I'm getting a lot more than I ever would.
Oh, wonderful. How are things going with Mom and Dad?
Great. I've got trust. That's an awesome thing to have again, because it's been a long time since I've had any trust. It's just nice to be able to talk to them on the phone, and for them to know, I just know in their voices, because they know in mine, that everything's okay.
And it is amazing that they can tell just by your voice, just by your actions, just by the way that you're talking with them, that you are okay. And that's an amazing feeling for them. Mm-hmm. I saw how relieved your mom looked. I spoke to your mom. She was driving back to Arizona that night at the last show, and it's just amazing relief. And you know, your dad wrote a beautiful letter as well. And actually, your dad's here in the audience. Mm-hmm. Would you like to come up? Sure. Okay, come on up. Good to see you. I think it's important for the parents out there to understand the transition that you've gone through in the last 40 days. And you know, if you could speak on that in any way, that'd be great.
I think as parents, first of all, we want to deny that there's a problem that couldn't happen to our child. The second thing is then we start enabling to make up for the shortfalls that she had. In the last month, we've had more serious and straightforward and honest conversations, either by phone or in person. I can't tell you how proud I am of her and the wonderful support she's gotten from Friendly House. I mean, I feel like the women and the leaders there are just real great friends. I mean, this girl could rabbit. I mean, she would, you know, kiss me goodbye and say, "Dad, I'm running up the store." I wouldn't see her for 2 weeks.
I think we know the type.
Yeah. I mean, that was, I just never knew when I saw her, was this the last I'm going to see her? And I'm not being funny. I mean, is she going to go out and in the crowd she was running and the drugs she was using was so insidious that, you know, is this it? And I literally was that. She would say, "Well, Dad, I'm going to go get milk, and I'm going to go get that." And then I wouldn't say, you know, she'd be gone. And I had no way of contacting her.
And anyone that's involved here that accepts treatment, the important part to understand is that they can accept it, and if they decide they don't want it, then they can leave, and they can, you know, they're given an opportunity, but it's their turn to actually fly on their own. Thank you so much for coming.
I understand that this disease is just a cold piece of work. You know, all I can tell her at this point is, you know, just give yourself another chance, you know. Just try, you know, just go again. I don't know, just do something, you know. You have to do things differently this time. I don't know.
There's always another chance, no matter how bad it gets. I've seen people turn around that were 10 times worse than that, and in a very short period of time. It's just finding that one that clicks, making sure that the person's ready, but then knowing that there's people like the people in this room that are willing to just put their hands out and try to help you in any way possible. It is hard. I mean, you're obviously young and you have 4 years of sobriety, trying to maintain your own sobriety, but yet trying to detox your wife. You know, and you know, it's a noble thing as well. It's just, you know, some people might not agree with it, some people might, and I can understand it because you're doing what you can to have a somewhat normal life for your son.
Right.
This project is to lay this out for people, to present them with other options. And we have many different programs that are involved that would like to be able to help people who really want to get help. And I think that we've seen some amazing miracles. We saw one today. Can we talk to your wife?
Yeah, she's here today. Sonny, are you willing to talk to them?
Come on down. Hi, Sonny. Thank you so much for coming up here. It was a brave thing to do. What I want to establish, and I think you know this, is the support that's in this room. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
The people in this room have come from 4 different treatment centers in the area, and they came on their own will because they wanted to be a part of this experience for somebody. Mm. Where are you at today with your addiction?
Well, at this point, I'm just kind of feeling like, you know, I had a long period of sobriety. I had a period of sobriety for about 2.5 years, you know, and before I got sober, I'd been to, you know, many treatment centers before I even got that sobriety, and I went to prison, and I went to jail, you know, and I had a spiritual awakening at that time, you know, where I realized that it wasn't worth it, you know, and I was ruining my life. And when I got out, you know, I was grateful and scared, you know, and I stayed clean off that for, you know, a good period of time. And I was working in treatment, you know, and I guess maybe I just got overwhelmed and I put my step work on the back burner and I went out and for the first like month, nobody really noticed. You know, I was shooting dope and I was shooting heroin and meth in my neck every day. And you know, working in treatment, trying to work there still, you know, and just trying to go to this meeting and be secretary, still high, you know, and living with the AA police over here. And, you know, eventually it got just, you know, out of control, and I said I wouldn't get high at work, and, you know, then I'm trying to find a vein in the bathroom all night, you know, where the clients are sleeping.
Center.
Yeah. You know, I said, you know, I wouldn't do all these things. I wouldn't get high, you know, the day I had to work, and then, you know, I'm getting high there. I stole medication, you know, like, and then eventually, once I quit my job, you know, I went to sober living. After sober living, I'm probably 86th from like every treatment center in Los Angeles at this point. You know, I've been to, since I relapsed in 5 months, I've been to like 12, I think, like places, including detoxes, sober livings, and rehabs, like, you know, just alone in 5 months. You know, and I use there, nobody notices except Robert, you know, because now he's so trained to know like how I am when I'm high that he can tell just by like one glance at me. But if somebody doesn't know me, you know, they don't really. And I use there, and I use there, and I use there, and I go on until I start doing things that are shady, and eventually it catches up with me, and I get kicked out for like stealing a couple quarters or something stupid, you know, because they really can't pin it on me because I'm peeing clean, you know. And I went to Claire, and I haven't been able to put together more than a week for 5 months. Since I relapsed, I haven't been able to put together more than a week. And I went to Claire. It was the last place I went, and I had like 28 days there. And someone brought heroin. My roommate brought heroin in, and I couldn't say no. I had no mental defense against the needle, you know, in my face. You know, it was just too much for me. So, you know, I didn't even want to relapse. You know, at this point, I just did it because, you know, it was there.
That makes me feel like you're trying to do something. There are people that pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars or exhaust their insurance policies. There is treatment for everyone. There are people that pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars or exhaust their insurance policies. There is treatment for everyone. But the point I'm trying to make is that if you were given an opportunity and if you took it seriously, would it be worth it for you?
I hate doing this over and over again. I just feel like it's a broken record. Like,
well, what's interesting about this show is that when we offer someone treatment, usually people from the treatment facility are in the audience watching this as well. So if you were to accept an option of going to treatment, and you were willing to trust that these programs work, and you know the beauty of this show is that it has worked for the people that have put forth the effort. We have Spencer Recovery Center is a residential rehabilitation center with detoxification, group therapy, one-on-one counseling, relapse prevention, education classes. You know, you can do extended care. There's a work program as well. But they would know who you are because you were honest enough to come up here, which is a big thing. You basically told on yourself on this is how manipulative I can be. I would love to see you back here in 30 days and maybe be back here with your son. And I know you love your son. I know that if you didn't want to come here, you wouldn't have had to come here. You would have been, you know, we're manipulative. We can get out of this any way we want. You didn't have to come down. It wasn't that much pressure, but you did come down and you were honest. And yes, we might be sitting here saying, oh, maybe we should be manipulative, but I think we're all willing to say, if you're willing to do it, you can know that you can fall back on us at this point as well and give it one more shot. Because how old are you?
23. 23.
So much time ahead of you. And I tried to get a picture of your son. I have him on my phone, a beautiful 2-year-old.
2.5.
2.5-year-old. He was sitting in his high chair eating a piece of bread with this big, huge smile on his face, like he was posing for a Gap commercial or something like that. But this is what you have to live for. So what I'm asking you at this point, and I think what everyone else is wanting to know is, will you give it one more shot, and are you willing to go to treatment?
To Spencer House?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
It's in Laguna Beach. It's a residential facility. And all you have to do is put forth your trust.
How long?
It's as long as you want.
And you'll come down there?
Yeah, of course.
And so won't your son. At this point, what do we have to lose? And I know it's scary.
This is my phone. I'm just kidding. I don't.
Look at the people in the audience.
All right. Okay.